Yeah, brothers, I'm back. I'm still enjoying my coffee in front of my house, sitting here working on my pineal gland. That's why my head's so dark compared to the rest of my body and my arms. Except it was a little bit cold when I came out, so I had to put on the leather coat. Um, this is when I do my best thinking, either always outside this door. I come out at 3 a.m. sometimes to look at the stars and stuff like that and do my best thinking out there. What did I think about? Life. Things I'm going through in life right now. Subject like that. The game. You guys. People that I worry about in this community and care for. Raul being one of them. I've been doing this for a long time. Talking to guys, trying to help guys, as I've said so many damn times. If you've been on the Pimps Network, you see how early my posts go. I've showed you how early some of my posts were. 2001, 2003. Just trying to give honest, deep advice. But I've been going about it the wrong way. I need to only give this advice within my forum. As I did a really good podcast show last night. I was talking about as I was driving to teach my class how euphoric I used to enjoy the game. And my podcast last night is titled I Was in Love with the Game. I think Mickey Royal talked about in his book, pimps are in love with the game. They're in love with the game and they're in love with money. But when you're not in love with the game, when you bring all that, got a Sarge and all that negativity to the game, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think your results are going to be? I feel sorry for you guys. I feel sorry for pickup artists with all that nervous stress they bring with them, with all that whole thing, got a Sarge. And last night I talked about how much I loved it. If I didn't get to the game that night, remember I told you guys, I'd feel down. I love going to the nightclubs. How many guys don't enjoy going to the nightclubs? But you just do it because you have to. You got to change the way you're approaching this. Because what's inside, as I've tried to teach you, will come on the outside. You create your outer world. Well, Supreme, why is your business going down? Because I've got turmoil going inside right now. You know, we all face turmoil. You know, do I continue in this business? Because I deal with a lot of negativity. I see it in your words. You know, your desperation. Dealing with the Trumpers just wore me out. Those guys, the black ones, really got to me. But the Trumpers that I thought I taught you guys clear sight. When I see that you don't have clear sight, not to say who you vote for, but clear sight to see the truth, and they come back with deflection stuff. That just broke me down. Plus all the years of dealing with all the negativity, it just kind of wears you out. You got to be in my shoes. Don't just think you know something. I'm a producer, as I try to get you guys to understand also. I produce content. If I go into anything, I'm going to start producing. That's how my mind is. You've seen me, and by the way, I have a class now. You see me go from nothing to something. So I know how to go out there and make money and survive. I can do that anywhere in the world. I was thinking about this morning, if I went to Japan, I was watching this Afro-Caribbean guy, this round face and these glasses, and he called himself Piggles. Of course he would call himself Piggles. Demeaning type of name like that, because the way he looked. And he also had the beard, which made his face look even fatter and rounder. And he's over in Japan. He realized that, Caribbean chicks ain't gonna dig him. He went to where he got a chance. And I'm thinking about, all the white guys that do that, and the low-hanging fruit thing. And remember I said, go where your market is. If you can't get your own market that you like, then go where you're more acceptable. So I'm thinking about that, and yeah, okay. I see you, brother. I see you, Jonathan. Jonathan actually said he got white chicks over here though, so I don't see what the big whoop was flying way over there. But hey, that's game. That's game. Whatever. It is the way it is. I always see these old, creepy older Caucasian guys with these young Asian chicks, or younger Asian wives, in other words. They have wives. They do the wife thing where you get online and get a wife. The guy 2 doors down from me did that. He was a nerd, and he recognized it. He knew it, and he got online and got a wife from Japan. He went over there and met her. He married her, and he actually sold his house and moved to a bigger house. Hey, more power to him. She's a good wife. You know, she's not gonna cheat on him. You don't have to worry about that, because he was dating Jovina's roommate. He only does Asian chicks. You know that the smaller, shorter kind of white guy with the big brain thing. He only dates Asian chicks. You know, and as I told you, Jovina's ex-roommate used to use white guys like toilet paper, and she did with him, to the point where they were having violent confrontations. So she moved in with Jovina. The next thing you know, she moved all the furniture in, because Jovina didn't have very much furniture at the time. She was recovering from her divorce. So, as I said earlier, I've been doing this for a long time, and I do have turmoil going inside. That's why I'm narrowing everything down. Enjoy these videos while they're here. The communication I'm giving to you. Sure, it's not organized A1, A2, A3, but I'm giving you guys raw game. Chris LL Storm said something important to me, how the game I was giving him went over him. It took him years, and I apologize for that. See, I'm always thinking that, you guys are super smart, so you can see it. But there's also a lacking of certain common sense, because what I talk about is just common sense. As someone tried to, your game isn't original, it's just common sense. Actually, mindfucking is original to that fellow. All the stuff I talk about in the area of domination, it's not common sense. It's actually experience. But the basic premise is common sense. It makes common sense that women do the choosing, and I choose not to run after chicks. I choose not to expend all that energy. I had made myself an attractive male, get the best out of it. I wasn't drop dead gorgeous. Remember Hot or Not, I was just an 8. I was 8.91, and then after I released it on So Suave, I guess they found it because I had a link to it, and they started trying to vote me down. They brought it down to an 8. So I was an 8 to white people out there, to white women out there, and white males that went in there and did it. I knew what they were doing. I kind of figured it out. I've been a strong 8.9 for a long time. All of a sudden, it took a pointed drop. That's how these males were over there. But they don't allow you to vote. These guys do fake accounts. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. These people that do that kind of thing, they'll do fake accounts. But I'm off on a different subject. Game. As I'm sitting here sipping my coffee. This election has separated me from a lot of my market. I realize that. Trump supporters. My thing with the Trump supporters was, but do you see why I can't support Trump? I can't stand like some of these black guys on the side where races are on the same side of the street. So I try to explain to you, nobody in this market has my age. Nobody went through what I went through. I'm the oldest dating coach on the internet. I'm the old fart. I was born in 59. That's how old I am. If you can gather that. 50s. So the stuff in the 50s transitioned into the 60s, what I witnessed as a child. And all these younger, coaches, TBA and stuff like that, blaming, I think it's I'm sure who's what, either way, I'm the tail end of the generation he's blaming. We didn't do nothing. Y'all let us down. He's referring to the majority. You've seen my sons. I didn't let anybody down. So nobody has my experiences that I've lived through. I told you about the door being slammed in my face in kindergarten. By the way, that was kindergarten. That older white male slammed the door in my face to a little black boy who was in kindergarten. Okay? Just in case you didn't know that. I don't think you guys, some of you guys really even care, but for those who do care, think about that little boy, what he experienced after that and during that time period. Many times I've been called the nigger. And not just that, the attitude of whites towards me. And I learned that when I got into the work world too, how they really thought of blacks in the work world. So think of all that I've experienced, and you'll see why I will always stand against racism. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, you can slide by there. You're in your pajamas, you're going to be on camera in your pajamas, man.
You know,
that would be Jovina's brother, Manuel. Manuel!
What a beautiful morning.
It is a beautiful morning, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you for
Say hi to my... You got to bend down to the camera. You got to get your mug in there.
Oh, that's a good shot of me in the morning.
Yeah, that's a good shot of you, man.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. So, if racism stands up, I will be on the other side of the street. Okay? Always. From what I lived through. I've seen a lot of gurus saying don't vote. I can't not vote against racism. They recommend we sit to the side and just watch. I can't sit to the side and watch because that's the kind of male I am. I started a business out there in the real world, and I've been successful at it. I've been up and down. Right now, again, because of the turmoil, I've gotten as many clients as I could. I'd like to get rid of the rest of them and think for a while, what I want to really do with my life, the rest of my life, because I'm at the tail end. I'm 57. It's downhill from here as far as, age. I'm over that big hump. And one of the things, I want to do is travel. I can't travel. I know I can't travel. Even if Trump had never came up, I still have to be leery. As I've showed you. I live in America. I'm an American. And I still have to be wary of a certain group of people. Members of the dominant society. Certain people, if they saw me an opportunity to kill a black male, they would do it. But what about the black on black crime? They deflect. That's called deflection. Instead of dealing with the real issue. And I know I've insulted or pissed off a lot of white males that watch my channel, but that was my goal. If you don't like what I have to say, then you don't really belong here because you can't see it. You live in your bubble worlds I talked about, and you listen to the stuff coming from the news, and I think that guy Wayne was talking about, don't trust the news. Yeah, don't trust the news. I agree with him on that one, especially in the area of black males. Don't trust Hannity. Don't trust O'Reilly, those guys you watch and get your information from. Don't trust the Breitbart, alt-right stuff that have filled your mind full of bullshit. Look at me. I'm an African American. You came here to learn. You learned from a black dude. And I already talked about the lower end, but I also told you where it came from, how this stuff happened to my race. We're not the same people that I knew as a child. But then I've seen the changes. Most people were born in the 70s or late 60s when the stuff was winding down, and they were too small to even understand what's going on. So they don't have the experiences that I have. So that's why I can't listen to a lot of people on this subject. And you can call me old head and frozen in the head and all that kind of stuff. As you know, I do step in other people's shoes. That's why I can see where they're coming from. They don't have that experience that I had. That's why they'll say some of the stuff they say, which I don't agree with. I think the black race needs to stand up. Let's not sit to the side. Let's not hide in shacks and peek out the window. As I give my analogy of that type of behavior. I'm not putting anybody down who's a guru that, I'm not trying to start no internet wars and all that kind of stuff, but that's just my mentality. Again, look at what I just did. I went out and I created a class. I went out and I marketed myself. I'm going to get out and do something. I'm one of those black folks that sit to the side, wait for it to come to me. I'm not going to sit and watch the action. I'm not going to sit and watch the game. I'm going to jump in the game. I go to school, and I used to be like that. I used to be passive. I would sit there in class and not say anything. I was always afraid to show my intelligence to white people because they wouldn't like me. Even to the people that I coach in my training program, older white males. And I finally got tired of that shit. And I began to realize that, I'm doing my dad's stuff, what I was learning, that I learned from my parents, Don't show them how smart you really are. Don't show them that you know anything. And I began to, there was a period of time where I was having bad discussions with one of my older white male clients. I only have one of them. His wife, I talked about this. I said, Obama's related to Cheney. And I think I talked about how she said, no, he's not. And then an older white woman said, yes, he is. So she believed it. And that's a friend of mine. We're friends. But I saw their mentality, and I learned to work with it as a businessman. And I would think what I would think. But then I began to start speaking out. And I just yesterday, one of my clients, a Portuguese woman, married to a white man, she said, I'm going to unfriend you because you're really vocal on your Facebook. And I am. I'm very vocal on my Facebook. Because I talk to my family, I talk to other blacks on there. As I try to explain to her, I said, I care about my race. And she goes, I know you care about your race, but... She's an attorney. She's retired, even though she's a year younger than I am. She retired because she couldn't get up in management inside of her job, what she was doing. And it's her personality. I'd never want to tell her that, but I know why they didn't. It reflects you up. I used to, get depressed, and I'm using that word, on a day she would come into work out. She was such a big whiner. And she whined about everything. And that's really just a reflection of how unhappy she was in life, I realized. So anyways, I've kind of talked around about a lot of stuff today. I'm just out here thinking. I'm sharing my thoughts with you. If you like to listen to what I have to say. I've got a lot to say. I can talk for hours and hours on subjects. And I try to keep it down. I try to remember to stay organized for you left brain types. Because you don't understand conversation and the flow of conversation, all that stuff. So, it's a log. No, was it Talmanyang? See you later?
No, see you later is at the log.
It's a log. It's a log, senhora. Muito bem. What's the word for car, vehicle?
Carro.
Carro?
Automov.
Automobile,
if you want to get technical.
That sounds like Russian. Her language sounds like Spanish choked up to Russian. Kalvu? Kalvu. Okay. Who am I? I speak smattering of a lot of languages. Anatawa name wanandeska, Japanese, Portuguese, a little bit of Spanish. I try to learn. I like learning, fellas. Hope you enjoy this conversation. I'm going to... uh-oh. It's in my truck. I took a GPS to find my son's house. Didn't work. This area is so new that it didn't show up on my GPS. I was meaning to put it back in your car, but I forgot. All right, fellas, I'm out.